So Heidi and I are going to teach you some exercises that you can do to get out of the positions that you spend your day in. So if you are someone who sits mostly for your job, we want you to stand to get these done. We had a hard time narrowing down exercises to teach you, so we actually did 2 videos, so make sure that you watch them both. The first thing I want to do is teach you 2 concepts about stretching that are really important. The first one is you should not feel pain when you stretch. It may not be your favorite sensation, but if it crosses the line into pain, you went too far. So maybe modify how intensely you're doing the stretch, or maybe readjust and try it again, okay? The second thing is you want to hold most stretches for 20 seconds. I don't find that we're all really good counters, so I recommend 3 deep breaths when you do that, and that's approximately 20 seconds for most people. So Heidi's first going to demonstrate a couple of stretches for the neck and shoulder. Heidi, for the first one, I want you to put a hand on your same side shoulder, and I want you to look down at the opposite side of your chest. And I want you to bend down, and then if it is comfortable for you to do so, I want you to put your other hand on top of your head. That's going to gently guide your head down towards your chest. Make sure when you do this that your shoulders are lowered. And you're going to breathe 3 deep breaths. And when you come out of the stretch, make sure you do so slowly so you don't get dizzy. And of course, you're going to do that on the opposite side as well. The second stretch is a neck side bend. So Heidi, if you stand really tall and lower your shoulders down, you're going to lean one ear toward your shoulder. You're going to breathe those 3 breaths, nice and slow and deep. And then when you're ready to come out of it, go ahead and do the other side, but Heidi doesn't need to demonstrate that. The next movement is a shoulder roll. It's not exactly a stretch, but a real nice mobility tool. I want you to make the biggest circle that you can with your shoulders, going over and back. And you do this a few times, get a nice roll going with your upper body. And when you are going around, if you pause in the most down and back position of that circle, that is a great reset for your posture. Okay? If you are somebody who uses your hands a lot for your work, I'm going to give you a couple of stretches for your hands, wrists, and up to your elbows. So the first one is called the prayer stretch. If you put your hands, your palms next to each other, you don't press them together, you just place them next to each other. In the movement of this stretch, you're going to keep the base of your palms touching and move your folded hands down towards your belly button as far as you can go to feel a nice stretch from your fingertips up to the inside of your elbows. You hold that 20 seconds, and when your 3 breaths or 20 seconds have passed, you rise your hands back up to come out of the stretch. We have a stretch for the top of your forearms as well. So Heidi, if you reach your arm out in front of you and bend your wrist down and your fingers straight down, use your other hand to kind of pull that wrist into a flexion. If that is too much of a stretch for you, go ahead and bend your elbow at your side, and that will decrease the intensity of the movement. If that is not enough of a stretch for you, straighten your elbow back out, curl your fingers under, and that will intensify that stretch. And again, the prayer stretch gets both sides at once, but this one you'll need to do on the opposite side as well. And the final stretch we're going to do is the standing back bend. Most people, if you've been sitting for a long period of time, just automatically go into a bit of a back bend position. Unfortunately, most of us crunch our backs even more when we do that. So what I'm going to ask Heidi to show us is a little bit of a modified version from what most people do. So Heidi, if you put your hands on your hips, and you're going to push down a bit on your hips and go up and over with your shoulders. When you get there, take a nice big breath You do not need to hold this one for 20 seconds, but when it feels like you've gotten a good stretch, come on up into your upright position. I would recommend maybe doing that a couple of times. Also, if you are someone who sits a lot for your job, is our recommendation that you get up at least once an hour and do a couple of these stretches that feel good to you.